too, they look like bridesmaids. And they all gang, so don't be talking sideways. Salty, they sodium, they jelly, petroleum. Always talking in the background, don't never come to the podium. Chef Cardi B, I'm up, I see you like the again. While you was sleeping on me, I'm in 40 bands by 4 p.m. They be taking everything you want, I'm like a walking. I don't understand what this hate is about. How you go your man with my name in your mouth? I do the Maybach on Monday, for rock Friday. This is sweet Saturday, that's just what I say. I say, babe, it's a, he said it's a, them pretty, you look like Beyonce, looking like money back, money back, money back, money back, money back, money back.
And we find ourselves at the stadium that played host to Super Bowl 52, the wondrous U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Green Bay Packers and the Minnesota Vikings. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Stopped immediately there. Tackle made that time by Anthony Barr.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20. Because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored, you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
Well, they have the run for no gain. Now they'll try again from the 25 on 2nd and 10.
Leopard! Let's go!
And they'll go on the ground. And he's able to plow forward up to about the 29, just shy of the 30. There for the tackle, the former Wisconsin Badger, Leon Jacobs.
Well, I think that's what they're going to need to do here in the first half. You've got to take some pressure off of this young quarterback, and no better way to do it than to establish the running game early.
This defense looking for an early stop. This is 3rd down and 6.
Gone!
The play action fake. They'll look to throw. Now on the run. He'll throw it back. He's got a man. Complete. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. A gain of 39 that time.
In our pregame meeting, all they talked about was keeping him hemmed in and wanting him to make his throws from the pocket because they knew he was pretty dangerous if he got outside, and he just showed it right there. Pretty good arm, too.
So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down. He'll look to throw. It's caught outright by Graham. And he'll be out of bounds just inside the 25-yard line. So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
Temporarily out of field goal range now as they come up on a 2nd and long after the holding call.
Patriot!
And they'll go with the ground attack here. And he's able to carve out about 6 there, down to the 37.
All right, Brand, I know we're in the early going here, but those kind of runs, They're going to open up a world of opportunities for this offense going forward.
And on third down, a nickel formation here defensively.
Watch it now, Barney! Detroit! All right, now, lucky 56.
They'll set up to throw. And he took the contact as he was throwing it, and the ball drops incomplete.
As my dad used to tell me all the time, when you're getting ready to play a big-time game, especially when you have one going into a dome setting, better strap it up tight because that crowd can really affect things.
Especially on third downs like the one we just saw there with the incompletion. So on now for the Packers at their all-time leading scorer, Mason Crosby. This from 54 yards away. And Crosby puts it through, and the Packers are off to a 3-0 lead. These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration, now seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny when we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers, it's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs, all-state wrestlers, right? Baseball players. We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts.
The first carry now for Dalvin Cook. And he'll wind up with about 6, up past the 30 to the 31.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31.
No. Check. Patriot. All right, now, lucky 56. Over.
They're going to look to throw. He'll rifle this one deep right, and that's caught inside the 35. Touchdown, Vikings. A big play there. His 19th touchdown now on the season. And the Vikings have taken a first-quarter lead.
Brandon, my man, just one sentence for that one. Clinic.
And that's what they've done. They lead the league in points per game this season, but it's been quick strike ability as we saw on that drive.
I think they're actually intimidating defenses because they're back on their heels right away, wondering where it's going to come from, how they're going to hit them. This group is well organized, well coached, and extremely confident in what they do.
And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Packers offense now heading back out onto the field. And, Charles, if the season ended today, and it's not going to, we still have December left.
More football.
We're only in November. But they would be a wild card team. And that's great. They'd be in the playoffs, but you know they're trying to bump up to be one of those division leaders. That
guarantees you at least one home game in the playoffs, and that's what you're really seeking. But there also isn't much margin for error for this team, right? Because right where they're sitting, a 2-game losing streak could have them out of the playoffs, so they've got to make sure they continue to keep the momentum going.
Absolutely. There's some sharks smelling blood in the water behind them. After the run, here's 2nd and 8 from the 27.
Lucky 56. Back 99 Philly, here we go. Back 99 Philly, here we go.
They'll run with Thompson. It's an 8-yard pickup and leads to a new set of downs.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. They'll look to throw now on 1st down. And he finds his tight end, Graham. Give him 11 yards that time and a new set of downs.
I got a kick out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations, but a guy of his size can't really hide him. But the tight end drag route, definitely an effective way to sneak him across the formation for an easy completion and a first down.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Detroit! Detroit! Gun! 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 Gun!
On the ground, it's Thompson. And he's got it across the midfield stripe and into Viking territory. A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be second down. Well, you often say that sort of opens the playbook now, second and short. What do you think, early shot here?
I like where you're going. Obviously, we've been together for a while because you know me. I want to take that shot early and loosen things up.
And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. A nice pickup there of 11 yards, and it'll move the sticks. They'll look to throw here on first down. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Eric Kendricks. And he'll take it across midfield and down to the 48-yard line.
And, Brandon, this is a real nice job defensively of getting inside a quarterback's head and figuring out, okay, where's he going with the football? Because you can make an educated guess defensively, not all the time, but sometimes. And when you're right, you've got a decent chance of coming away with the football.
First down, here's the run with Cook. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up second down.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down, a very solid gain on that play.
Watch you now, Barney! Barney!
On second down, Cook. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 45-yard line. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a third down.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. Back now with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Second quarter begins with the Vikings holding the football. They'll need to convert a 3rd and 7, though, to start things out.
Lucky 56. Over. Check your hot read. Gun.
They'll set up a throw. And this one hauled in by Will Tye. And he'll lose yardage here, back at the 47. Losing 2 yards that time, and now it's 4th down. And never good on a pass completion there to go the wrong way. Lost yardage.
No, for some reason it seems to work better when you throw it downfield or you can move the ball downfield running it that way, doesn't it? But in this case, if you're the defensive guys, you're energized, executed well, and you caused a lost yardage play. That's going to feel good and look great in film.
An update from around the league as our first one comes from New Orleans. And it's an early lead there for the Saints. And we'll keep an eye on that one as our game goes along here.
Detroit!
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. Looking for Diggs, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Sean Lee. And they will be set up now as he brings this thing all the way back inside the 20.
Well, the timing is everything on a route like this. He tried to drive that football into a tight spot. And if you're a little early or a little late, chances are there's going to be someone there. And sure enough, This one's going the other way.
They run it here with Thompson. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. Obi Melifonwu with the tackle. I think you mentioned in the opening drive that these guys needed to establish the run, protect the young QB. Actually wrote that down, believe it or not. So how would you assess things so far?
I'm kind of touched that you actually wrote something like that down. I appreciate that, partner. But I do think they've been able to do that. Maybe not as effectively as they wanted to, but I think we'll see more of as this game goes along because they want to continue to take care of that young QB.
And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. And the Vikings with an extra defender in the secondary on third.
Playing coverage here.
Now Allen. And here he'll get it down to the 7. It's a 6-yard pickup. It's still a few chain links short, it appears, with 4th down coming up.
I think we can safely say that those types of plays are the backbone of this offense. We know not every run's going to be a big hitter, but you know they'll take that type of result on each and every attempt.
Fine time to his left. He can run for it, and he will. And he will have the first down before he's brought down at the 3. They opt to go for it, and they get it. 1st and goal after a pickup of 5.
Detroit! Detroit! Gun! 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 Gun!
They'll run. This is Allen. And the D not yielding much there. He's only going to get a yard to about the 2.
This drive is pretty clear. Almost feels like old school fundamentals, doesn't it? Want to impose their will on the defense. What's that, 5 straight runs?
And he'll take this one in for a Packer touchdown. A great play there with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Packers are able to cash in for 6. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. And now out comes Minnesota. And, you know, certainly a lot of football left to be played. We're not into December yet, but right now where we stand, they're first place in their division. Looking good, looking to be a threat come January.
And let's think about what every team has in their goals, all right? Number 1 goal is what? Make the playoffs. Number 2 goal is win your division. Number 3 goal, and the biggest goal, I think, is to be the highest seed possible that you can be heading into the playoffs so that you can have as many home games as possible to try and get you to the Super Bowl.
And right now fighting for every win possible to try to at least secure home field for the wild card and or divisional round. Back to throw here. He's got it complete to Stephon Diggs. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
Give him 12 yards on that one. It earns him a fresh set of downs.
Gun! 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 Over!
Back to throw now on 1st down. He'll rifle this one deep right side. So they took a shot on 1st down but couldn't connect.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
Yeah, I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the second quarter, a lot of time to change things. Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. Over the middle, and it's incomplete.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10.
Gun! Set! Blue 90! Blue 90!
He'll drop to throw. Looking left side, and it's complete. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. He had the touchdown earlier. This one's going to get him a first down. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky.
A give. This is Cook. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. 1:59 to go in the first half. More from Minneapolis after this.
Right there. Oh, James, baby. Hey, four down. All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
Handoff comes to Cook. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. He'll wind up losing 3. And now it's 3rd down. And now a timeout coming from the defensive side for the Packers. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. The Vikings on 3rd down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 8. He'll look to throw. Flushed out right. He may try and run for this. Decent gain on the scramble to 6, but now it's 4th.
That was a good effort there, trying to do it on his own. But as a defender, you're in a tough spot because you have coverage responsibilities behind you. And if you take off too quick to try and get him down, he might loft it over your head.
So better to track with your man defensively than try to go up and make a stop on the quarterback.
Exactly right. What you're hoping is that your guys in the front 7 can get him down.
It's a 47-yard field goal try from here, but instead they're going to opt to go for it on 4th down.
Check. Back 99, Philly, here we go. Detroit! Gun!
From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. And that is going to be incomplete. Sean Lee, the linebacker, able to get a hand in coverage. So they've gone for it twice now on 4th down in this game, and both times unsuccessful.
I wish we could hear the headsets now between the head coach and the offensive coordinator. Now that they're 0 for 2, if they get into a 3rd situation, head coach might say, hey, you got anything for this one? Might get radio silence back.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30.
Gun! Hurry up, here we go. Green 39.
They'll try and start this drive in the air. And Graham's got it over the middle. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 15 yards is the pickup there, and the drive starting very nicely. 1st down.
Gun!
On 1st down, he'll drop to throw. Got an open man. It's Valdez-Scantling. And he'll get it down to the 47 here. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards.
All right, here we go. Green, 39.
Back to throw. Being chased out left. And he slides to avoid the hit. Maybe not exactly what they had in mind, but that scramble good for 6 and a first down.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the 3rd one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. Emerson Griffin, he's the one to get him, and that's sack number 7 for him on the year. They'll come up after the sack on a 2nd and 12. Looking to throw. And Graham's got it. Complete. And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down. So on 3rd down, the field goal unit will come out as they'll try to get 3 before half. This officially a 55-yard attempt. And he has got it from 55 yards away. That was never in doubt. These kickers now, it's like we take them for granted. Kicks like that used to be such a big deal, and now you just expect them to make it.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and we shouldn't take them for granted. But I have a theory about it. You want to hear it?
Yeah.
They are more athletic now than ever before. Talk about kickers. Trace their backgrounds, trace their histories. You'll find that they were big-time athletes all along, but their kicking was so prevalent that we made them specialists.
And now those 50-plus yarders seem easy for some reason.
Detroit! Detroit! Gun! 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 Gun!
They'll throw now on the final play. And he'll be out just a yard or 2 shy of the 30. So we've come to halftime here with the visiting Packers out on top. As we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach, both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. Out come the Vikings. They'll have it first on offense as we begin the 3rd. They're down here, but very much in this game. What's the tonality of a coach's talk when a game is within striking distance like this at intermission?
Typically, what they're doing is emphasizing the things that went well in the first half and wanting more of that. Sure, you've got to go over some of the errors and clean up some things because there's a reason you're down. But overall, I think they want to stay positive, stay up with this team. We're just starting the second half, and we've got the football. Let's go ahead and punch it in, and then we'll take it from there.
See how that recipe works. A big hitter there, a first down gain of 26 yards. So into Packer territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line.
We got 3, fellas. We got 3. Watch it now, Barney. Barney.
Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. Flush to his right. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete. We saw this a lot in the first half, and it continues. These receivers just not able to get much separation.
So that means they have to win the 50-50 balls. They've got to go up with the defender and find a way to start coming down with them.
And this time, contact and another incomplete pass. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Watch it now, Barney. Barney.
They'll drop to throw. And he comes back with one complete. That, I believe, will put him over 100 yards receiving for the game. Yes, it will. And he's got a first down to boot.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
Now back to throw. Left side caught by Diggs. Touchdown, Vikings. Stephon Diggs, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Vikings have tied it. They can grab the lead with a PAT. Extra point up and good by Catanzaro. And that will put them on top here in the 3rd. Catanzaro out now as he'll kick this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Here's the Packers offense now getting set to start off this 3rd quarter. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned, because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve. Now, the first play of the drive there is incomplete. Line of scrimmage, again the 25, 2nd and 10.
Detroit!
Now Thompson. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here. When trying to create space for your running back, the first thought is how physical is the offensive line. Sometimes it's just positioning. On that play, it didn't matter about positioning or being physical. The defensive front, they out-leveraged them and won the battle.
It'll be a gain of 16 and give them a first down as well.
The goal for any offense versus a zone defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And he takes it past the 45 and down at the 46. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
Lucky 56. All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky.
He'll look to throw. Steps away to his left. And this will be incomplete.
His struggles finding open receivers continue. I don't know the last time I saw him this inconsistent throwing the football.
It would be hard to find a date when he was this inconsistent. You know, in his locker, he keeps the word poise printed on an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. He needs to find that poise right now.
He certainly does. In fact, I would suggest he laminate it.
The Packers on 3rd down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 4. Here's Allen. No gain on the play there. A nice job defensively. And it likely forces a punt situation on 4th.
Another down on the scoreboard, but the urge to go for it is almost irresistible here on 4th and short. Yeah, I know they're on their own side of the field.
I was going to say.
Normally I would say punt the ball away, but I'm feeling it. I say go for it.
And the win last week punted 4 times as this one's away. And he'll get credit for a punt inside the 20, not by much, but inside the 20 at the 19-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
Limited running room as he'll get about 3 to the 21.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
Now they'll throw here out of the gun. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Gibson. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. First target, first catch, and a first down.
Watch it now, Barney, Barney. Gun, 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 gun. Detroit, Detroit.
They'll set up to throw. Throwing left side, it's complete. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. Another big gainer that time. This one goes for 19 yards.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Over, 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 over.
They'll look to throw. Eluding the pressure right. And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40. He'll get 5 out of the scramble. It's second down.
Okay, he's not going to get the first down, but this is still a nice job of buying some time and then running to get to the sideline and get out of bounds and avoid the big hit.
Hurry up, here we go. 319. 319. No, check. Patriot, Patriot.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And they went the wrong way there. Losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. He lost 4 there, and it's third down.
You have to give big-time credit to the cornerback on that play. Most of them like to just sit back and say, I'm playing pass. But he diagnosed that play so fast and got into the backfield for a loss of yardage. That's a monster play by a corner.
Gun, gun. Detroit, Detroit. Back 99 Philly, here we go.
They go again with Muhammad. A good effort there, 9 yards, but it's going to leave him looking at a 4th and 1.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. They've been burned twice already on 4th down, but the 3rd time's the charm as they keep the drive moving.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
They're going to look to throw. And eventually taken down here. Great coverage downfield.
Okay, was it a breakdown in protection? Did the running back not pick him up? What does it really matter? Sometimes it's just a great play made by the defense. Big-time sack.
And we return, welcoming you back to Minneapolis. And we've got a dandy here. A 1-point game as we begin the 4th. Second and 14 as they've got work to do here after the sack.
Now let's go. Blue 90. Blue 90.
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. Hits his target, the tight end, Will Tye. And he'll be a little shy of the 25 here at the 26-yard line. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to third down. They'll run it. Here's Cook. And he's going to take this one down to about the 23-yard line. The ball still a few inches shy of the marker after the 3-yard run, so now a little soul-searching on 4th down. Now the offense not going anywhere. They're staying out there. They've converted once already on this drive. Here they go again on 4th down.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
Running for it. Here's Cook. So he fought off the tackle, and that effort gives him the first before he's brought down. Well, they deemed it 4-down territory, and they got 4 yards to pick up the first. A 10th carry in the game for Cook. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there. 2nd down.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker, and what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
Detroit! Detroit! Gone! 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 Gone!
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. They'll wind up with positive yardage. It's a gain of 3, but now it's 3rd down.
How about a tip of the cap to the defense? They're working against a very mobile quarterback, but all day long they've kept him under wraps. And on that play, they held him to a short gain.
Gone! 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 Gone!
They'll set up a throw. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
Once you get into the red zone and the safeties have less ground to cover, you'd better be quick with your delivery. Not much space to get a ball in there.
Yeah, when that field shrinks with those safeties, it's almost like there's a couple extra defenders out there, right?
It certainly is. They end up taking up extra space just because there's not enough space for receivers to run through.
So they get the 3, but you wonder now, is that going to be enough?
Excellent question, because when I look at the smiles on that side of the field, they're a little tight, aren't they? If they had scored a touchdown there, those would be big half-moon grins right now because they'd feel a whole lot better about their position.
And a touchdown in the other direction, all of a sudden they're down. Charles, this one not over, certainly, but you set the magic number earlier in this game at 20 points, said that they would need to hold them right around that marker under it. What are you seeing here?
Well, that number is still in play because we said, okay, 20 or under gives them a chance to win. Right on pace for being in that range. And guess what? They've got a shot.
They start the drive with a give to Allen. And he'll go down right at the 30-yard line. 5 yards is the tally on 1st down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. They'll look to throw here. And that's hauled in by St. Brown over the middle. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. 23 yards on the play. From Viking territory now, they'll come up 1st and 10 at the 47. Back to throw here. Escaping the pressure right. And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked up by the former first-rounder Trey Waynes. When they have the football, it will set up shop at the 33-yard line. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Here's Cook as they begin on the ground. Looking to find a lane, but he can't. Reined in at the line of scrimmage. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down. Got to figure now, after getting that turnover, they're just going to be happy to keep the ball on the ground, right?
This is where covering the football, taking care of the ball, all the ball security terms that have ever been used, they come into play for the guys on offense right now. Just take care of it, and they've got a good chance of ending up winning this game.
Lucky 56. Detroit! Detroit!
On play action, they'll throw. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
Well, we always talk about how you've got to be quick when you go through your progressions, and here's another prime example. Trying to look downfield, he was standing in the pocket, but just couldn't find anyone open, could he?
No, not enough time. They hit him and forced that incompletion. Another incompletion would certainly be ideal defensively. A big play now. This is 3rd and 10. Going down the middle, and it's complete. And he'll be stopped right at midfield. 5th catch of the afternoon, and that gives him a first down. Time for a break. We're back to see what happens after this. And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10.
No. Check. Patriots. Gun. All right, now, lucky 56.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Throwing left side here, and it's complete. Give him 9 there on the first down completion. And whistles, and we're going to have another stoppage of play as they call the timeout on defense with 1:53 left. Another yard would probably put this thing in the books. It's 2nd and 1.
Gun. Detroit.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be brought down, it looks like right at the 40. 2 yards on the pickup there, but it's enough to give him a new set of downs.
2nd and 1, and people want to run the football. This is where every back in the league is supposed to do exactly what we just saw there. Pick up the first down.
A couple of first downs have them to the 40 now on 1st and 10.
Tight end right. Watch him now, Barney.
They run again on 1st down. Cook trying to turn the corner, but they string him out and stop him at the line of scrimmage. Now the Packers going to go ahead and use the 2nd of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with just over a minute to go in the game. Another running situation on the doorstep as they come up 2nd and 10. That one looks like he'll throw here. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. And they weren't in zone coverage. They were in man, and each man did his job.
And that looked like vintage, old-school coverage, didn't it? Man coverage reminded me of an old Raiders team. They had a Hall of Famer at one corner and a Defensive Player of the Year at the other, and they just locked people down.
The Vikings on 3rd down. They've converted 3 times in 8 chances. This will be a tough 3rd and 18. They run the counter with Cook. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 47. A 5-yard loss there is going to bring up 4th down.
Part of the thinking when you bring in extra tight ends, you're hoping that each of your guys gets those one-on-one blocks and creates a crease for your runner. You know what the converse is, though? You've got to win those one-on-one blocks. And when you don't, that's the result you end up with.
And they're going to take it all the way down and just take the delay. And that'll set them back 5. Here's Drew Kaiser now as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. He was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away. Now trotting out there, the Packers getting ready to go. Critical condition here, obviously. Got to hope to get something quick right and then maybe take that shot deep.
And once they do take the big shot, you've got to worry on defense. Of course, no one getting behind the defense and make it an easy throw. But nowadays, it's not just the ball being tipped in the air and people in the end zone in a cluster. It's that guy that's short of the end zone who comes up and ends up making the play because he goes unguarded. So there's a lot to think about if you're playing defense in this situation.
We'll see if they can cover all their bases. He's back to throw. He's going to let it fly. And it's incomplete. So their final drive comes up empty. And with that, the ball game is over. Well, going into the final play of this game, they knew that they needed some type of a miracle there at the very end, but they couldn't get it done. However, we were treated to really a spectacular affair.
Even though they didn't finish it off, you're exactly right. They took us down to the last play. We're still, you're wondering, could it happen? Possibly, even though we both knew it was a long shot.
So for Minnesota, the great run they've been on continues as they move to 9-1 now. And they'll hit the road next week to take on the Atlanta Falcons. Meanwhile, for Green Bay, they suffered just their second loss as they drop to 8-2 now on the year. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves next week at home against the Chicago Bears. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports.